what is so fulfilling about working with the tutoring community is seeing their own passion for working with their students. Every decision we've made, every feature that we implement, there's a lot of intention behind it. We really take the feedback of our members and of the tutoring community to heart, and we use that to build more features. We use that to improve on the features. You don't have to start from scratch because the platform is already so flexible that it's so easy in just a few clicks to make these changes. One of our biggest competitors is pen and paper.
Hello and welcome to the Qualified Tutor podcast, the podcast that brings you the latest in the world of tutoring, edtech and education, and hopefully inspires in you the big change that each and every one of us is capable of. Qualified Tutor is an industry-leading tutor training organisation and online tutoring community for thousands of tutors around the world. This podcast is the voice of this community, where we aim to hear from tutors, teachers, entrepreneurs, coaches, business experts, students, tutorpreneurs, and more from the world of tutoring about what inspires them every day, how they can help tutors like you, and what they've learnt about tutoring along the way. The question is, what will you learn today? Hello and welcome to this special episode of the Qualified Tutor podcast. Erin and I, my guest here today, who I'll introduce in just a second, we're talking about how this time of year is a strange one for everyone. No one's quite sure what day it is. No one's quite sure when what will be happening the next day or the day after. So I'm really glad that Erin has agreed to do a podcast with us today in this crazy time between the traditional Christmas holiday period for those who celebrate it and the New Year, just as we look ahead to 2022. Now, there was some big news just before Christmas. I can't believe you'd have missed it, but if you have, the big news is that TutorBird, of which Erin Ross, our guest today, is the communications specialist. And we'll get into a little bit more about who TutorBird are and what they do. But TutorBird were announced as the sponsors of Day 5 at the World Tutoring Festival 2 this coming January. So that's Friday the 28th of January. And the theme of Day 5 is World Tutoring. And I don't think there could be a better fit for the sponsors of that day. And if you're wondering why, then you'll have to stay tuned for the next 25 minutes or so to find out. But welcome, Erin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ludo, for having me here today. I'm really excited to be here to talk to you a little bit about TutorBird, talk to you about my role a bit as the communication specialist at TutorBird, and of course, to talk about the Love Tutoring Festival that we are so excited to be a sponsor of.
Yeah, we're really delighted that Erin and her team reached out because it was that Day 5 is a really important day for us. It's one of the reasons why an online festival means so much to us is because of this global element, this world tutoring element. And for those of you who are with us for Love Tutoring Festival 1 back in June, you'll know that the Friday there was World Tutors Day, this new global awareness day that we've established to celebrate the work of tutors across the world in this new state of tutoring in 2021, 2022. So there are going to be, as Erin alluded to there, we're going to start off by talking a little bit about Erin's background and about TutorBird, how the platform works. And then in the second half, we'll be talking a little bit about the Love Tutoring Festival. So without further ado, Erin, our first question is, what is your why?
Well, for me personally, and honestly, I think I can speak on behalf of the team at TutorBird, we are a very, very passionate team. We're not a huge company. We're a relatively small team. Unlike a lot of other software companies, a lot of them work remotely and are spread out all over the world. We actually all work together in the same office. We're huge on collaboration. And one thing that really, really drives me is helping to fuel other people's passion. So with TutorBird, our goal is to eliminate a lot of the administrative stress and the administrative tasks that private tutors and tutoring businesses have to worry about in order to get their business running. And what is so fulfilling about working with the tutoring community is seeing their own passion for working with their students. There are tutors in so many different subjects, so many different industries. There's a lot of really niche tutoring groups we've been able to talk to over the past couple of years. And I personally have been able to connect with a lot of them on Facebook and in other groups. We have a whole onboarding team who runs group demos. And we found all of these little niche groups where there's math tutors, or there's English tutors, or there's reading tutors, or reading in specific subjects like dyslexia. And while all of these tutors are teaching a number of different things, and the actual content that they're tutoring can vary from region to region and from subject to subject, there's this thread of passion that just connects all of them. So when we're able to go in and we're able to say, hey, you know, the boring invoicing stuff, the stuff that takes up your time, chasing down the payments and getting those, you know, the parents of the students to hand in the check, we can get rid of all of that so that you can just focus on the passion of connecting with your students. And it's that connection that really, really drives me. And, you know, when I get up in the morning and I'm on my way into work, I'm thinking about, okay, as the communication specialist, who do I get to connect with today? Am I connecting with the private tutor that maybe was a public school educator for years and during the pandemic decided, you know what, I think it's time to maybe take an early retirement and just focus on teaching this one subject to students? Am I going to be connecting with someone who started doing tutoring years ago just as a side hustle, and as time has grown and time has gone on, they've been able to grow their business, they've been able to hire other tutors, they've been able to introduce more subjects, and now they're running this business that they never thought was possible, all because we were able to help provide the tools? Am I going to be connecting with someone like you today, Ludo, where we're two people in the same space where we are here to support tutors. We're here to help the industry grow. We're here to learn from other tutors as well. And it's great that every day I know there's that thread of connection, that my passion of helping others fuel their passion is going to keep growing, keep continuing, and help us as a company.
I think that connection is so powerful, and it's what you're able to do as a platform, as a tutor management software, is you're able to just, as you say, speak to hundreds, thousands of tutors. So I mean, that first point you made there was brilliant, just about being in the same office. You know, when Erin and I had our first meeting, the TutorBird head of growth, Dasha, was there as well, and they were sitting in the same office. You know, and I was kind of being zoomed in, or kind of beamed in on the big screen. It felt very not like the last 2 years when everyone's just been kind of working from their own home or that kind of thing. So I really love that you are able to get into the office together, and I think that will help create such good kind of collaboration within your team, which I'm sure
absolutely
really shows to those tutors. Now, I've had a good look around the platform, and you know, there is an enormous amount of kind of, as I was saying to you earlier, TutorBird have clearly thought about every little detail that takes up a tutor or a teacher's life. So could you tell us a little bit more about how the platform works?
Absolutely. So we launched TutorBird about 7 years ago, actually under a different name called My School Books. We've rebranded it to TutorBird towards the end of 2019, just to really drive home who our target demographic is for this product. It's not, you know, classroom teachers. It's not selling textbooks. It's specifically for tutors. And the majority of our members are actually just a single private tutor, often working out of their own home, working online. We do have a number of multi-tutor businesses as well. Every decision we've made, every feature that we implement, there's a lot of intention behind it. We really, really take the feedback of our members and of the tutoring community to heart, and we use that to build more features. We use that to improve on the features. At the end of the day, our core 4 kind of features are the student management, the scheduling, the attendance recording, and the invoicing and billing, all of the finances. And the main foundation that TutorBird works on is calendar-based billing. So what that means is the student's management talks to the calendar, which talks to the attendance statuses, which talks to the invoicing and billing. So at the end of the day, you're doing an initial setup to get things going, and then you've completely streamlined the entire process. So you add your students, you can add the parents, or if they're an adult student, they would just have their own account. You'd set up your scheduling. You can have a number of different billing options. We really pride ourselves on providing as much flexibility within the platform as possible. Our aim is to support tutors in how they run their business, not to set up a platform that tutors have to then adapt their own policies to make work. So we're really, really flexible. There's a number of different settings you can implement to make it work for you. And if there's something that a tutor finds maybe isn't exactly the way their own business is set up, we want to hear it. We love hearing the feedback from our members in order to help us shape how we make the changes as we go. It is a cloud-based application, which means as long as you have connection to the internet, you can access it, which is great for tutoring on the go. How many times do you get a text from a parent saying, something came up, we need to change this. Can you have a look at the schedule and see if there's an opening? Well, you don't need to open up your computer and sign into a million different places to find it. You can just easily pull it up on your phone and find what you need to find. One of the top kind of fan favorite features from our member base is the automatic features we have within the billing. So you can really, really streamline how you're getting paid. At the end of the day, there's automatic invoicing. You can automatically send the invoices. We do integrate with Stripe and PayPal to collect online payments. Automatic payments can be set up as well. So really with just an initial setup of maybe 20 minutes, a half hour, getting a student completely set up with their schedule and billing information, you no longer need to do any sort of manual entry to stay on top of that and collect the payments on time.
Yeah. No more chasing up or not being sure when that month's work payment is going to come in.
Exactly.
You mentioned there just before that you have tutors from across the range of subjects all together on this one platform. Is the platform different for different subjects? How does that work across the range?
So it is the same platform just for everyone. The only difference would be if you are just a single tutor working on your own, you would have the single tutor account. If you do have other tutors in your business or other tutors that you're working alongside with, there is a multi-tutor option. That just adds a bit more features with regards to who's the administrator, what different user privileges the other tutors would have. But because we cater to tutors of all industries, all subjects, all over the world, we've intentionally left it so that it's up to you as the tutor for how you want to use it. Like I said, there's so much flexibility built into the platform. We have an online resources area, so you can upload any resources that you need to provide to your students and share them directly in the app, which allows, a reading coach to be able to make use of the features exactly in the way that they would need to use it versus an SAT prep instructor who would need to upload their own set of resources. But it also allows for that growth and expansion. So you're not completely locked into, when I started this, I was a single tutor. I was only teaching, geometry. And then perhaps your business grows. You bring another tutor on board or you start to expand. There's more subjects being offered. You start offering a different way of doing things, some alternate policies. You don't have to start from scratch because the platform is already so flexible that it's so easy in just a few clicks to make these changes.
That sounds like a real lifesaver for many tutors. I know the tutoring community we have, the qualified tutor community, there's all of these little parts that you've built into the platform. Those are the kind of questions we're getting. How do you deal with this? How do you manage this? What's your policy for this? So I think, and I saw as well when I was investigating TutorBird a little bit more, you've got these templates for cancellation policies and that kind of thing and draft messages that you can send out. And I just think that's amazing to save that kind of time and to always be 2 steps ahead of what the next problems are for any tutors. What's the secret, Erin? How do you stay 2 steps ahead?
Like I mentioned before, we really, really take member feedback to heart. So when we launched about 7 years ago, the platform was a lot simpler. There was a lot of features that we hadn't added yet. And over time, as we've heard from the tutors in the community about what they want to see, we're able to add that, which then in turn allows other tutors who may not have thought about that policy or who may not have thought about that feature can now see it and use that in their business. And we really do everything with intention to support growth. Most of our members are the private tutors or the small businesses who maybe have a background in education, but not a background in business. So, they don't know what they don't know. If we can provide these templates, if we can set up these policies in place where, okay, you don't have to be the bad guy and tell them they are still being charged for this missed lesson because of the 24-hour policy. We can bake this into the product. So now that's one less thing that you have to worry about. It's one less thing that you have to spend your time as a tutor researching these business aspects. We can now support your growth in allowing you to focus on that connection, again, back to connection, the connection with your students and sharing your knowledge with them. We continue to grow. I know we've got a number of features we're excited to take a look at in the coming years. We've got things, I mentioned the core features, but we already have in place the online resources section. We've got a lending library feature where if you have physical resources that you hand out that you want to keep track of, you can keep track of that within there. We do have a website builder. It's a fairly simple website builder, but again, for the tutor who started just kind of tutoring as a side gig and is now trying to expand into a full-time, more professional looking business, if you're not a web developer, you don't know where to start with that. Here we've got a simple website builder in there, so you can quickly create a website. You can attract new students. You can get them signed up. We also have a student portal, which is a fantastic feature for tutors where one of our biggest competitors is pen and paper. You have a lot of tutors who will scribble down notes at the end of a session, hand it home, have a student write something down in their notebook, take it with them, and then you get those follow-up texts of when's my next lesson, can we cancel this? With the student portal, it gives the student and their parent the ability to just log in on their own, see past lesson feedback, see their own schedule, make changes, register for an open lesson slot, view those online resources. It just creates sort of a one-stop shop for that parent-student-tutor relationship to be fully online.
I think that's key as well, isn't it? Is we're talking about and two tutors here, of course, but for the parent, it has to be streamlined as well, and it has to be safe, and it has to be effective, and it has to save them time, because pen and paper is obviously a tried and trusted method. It's worked quite well for a number of years. So yeah, I loved your point earlier about you're introducing people who perhaps are very good pedagogues, very good teachers, but who don't necessarily know so much about the business side. If you were just to look at the surface of TutorBird, you might think it's just exactly that. Yeah, it's just a management software. It's just a software that maybe can save you some time. But actually, what you're doing is you're raising standards, because you're showing people that you should have a cancellation policy, and here's a good way to do it. It's not the way to do it necessarily. It's not the only way to do it, but it's a good way of doing it. Or you're showing people that that they can invoice, weekly if they need to, or monthly, rather than being at the behest of the parent, and always asking, please can you pay at this time, or please can you pay at this time. You're showing them that actually they can implement a system where the parent is forced to pay at this time, because that is what's required for that tutor's business. And I think that's a really important kind of an extra advantage to something like this, is you're actually showing tutors what good tutoring looks like, what good business looks like. And as you say, if tutors on the platform can show each other that, and you get good feedback from a tutor who says, please can you add this feature, and then that feature is integrated and it shows other tutors about that particular area, then you're creating this kind of community led progress, community led development, which I think is wonderful. So yeah, if you're not convinced by that now and you're listening, then I don't know what could ever convince you, because that was a fairly in-depth, fairly detailed, and obviously completely thorough look at what TutorBird can do for you as a tutor. And now TutorBird can do something else for you. I'd like to turn a little bit to the festival, Erin. Why are you guys so excited to be partnering on the Love Tutoring Festival too?
Well, one thing that we've loved about the tutoring community over the past couple of years, especially, again, is building that sense of community and connection. When we first launched TutorBird, we didn't really see that. We didn't see a larger group of tutors coming together. There was a lot of small little pockets. There were these niche groups with a few hundred people here, a few hundred people here. maybe less than that. And as time has gone on and the tutoring community has really, really grown, I think especially with a lot of tutors having to adapt to tutoring online during the pandemic and therefore being able to expand their reach of students and also expand their reach to other tutors around the world, this community has really, really, really started to grow. We are sponsoring the Friday, which is the World Tutoring Day, and we're based in Canada. You're in the UK right now. And while we are a Canadian company, we're located just a little bit outside of Toronto. We have members all over the world. We have, I think I mentioned earlier, our team of onboarding specialists who do one-to-one calls to help members get set up and small group demos. And those group demos can have up to 6 people in there. And there have been groups where those 6 people are all from a completely different country. And it's been so amazing to see that reach and to see, the differences from region to region when someone in a call or someone on an onboarding call mentions, oh, well, over here, we actually call it this. And it's something that we wouldn't have known without being able to have this connection with them. When you have a small group of tutors who are all in different countries, who are suddenly realizing something that one of them had a problem with could be solved by TutorBird, and something that someone else has already solved, they can now share their resources together. So being able to sponsor the day, specifically focus on tutoring all around the world, really just aligns with what our passion and mission is as a company, which is supporting the growth of tutors everywhere.
Yeah, and there are some very high quality speakers on the Friday. There's to take you through just a little bit, Lucy Spencer, who's the founder of Education Boutique, will be talking about the concept of decentralized education. It's looking at, the need, or not necessarily the need, but the vision for the future of schools without walls, without having to go to a physical location and being able to tap into the worldwide educator market. Then Gavin McCormack is delivering a keynote at 11 a.m. UK time. Gavin is the founder of Education Influence. They recently ran a huge worldwide conference where he asked teachers from around the world to deliver an hour of teaching, just 1 hour of teaching. And I think, he gathered together thousands of parents and students from around the world and hundreds of teachers. And then at 12 p.m., we've got the co-founder of Tutors in China, a guy called John Woodbury, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about some of the developments in the Chinese market. And then the final event of the entire festival, this huge event, this international tutoring roundtable. For the festival in June, we had 9 panelists from, I think, 4 continents around the world, chaired by the CEO of LearnCube, Alex Asher. So that's a huge moment for connection. Going back to that word again, that is a place for tutors with completely different world experiences and cultures to come together and share what they know. So we're so glad that you guys have joined us for that. You guys are delivering day 5, because that's really what it means. And I guess a good place to finish, and something you were alluding to just then. I thought, no, Erin's going to jump ahead of the questions that I had lined up. But you just refrained from it just enough. What is the TutorBird vision? What's coming next? What does 2022 hold for TutorBird?
Well, on the more technical side of things, the team has been working really, really hard for the better part of the last couple of years to actually completely revamp the entire platform on new technology. So they have been painstakingly and very carefully rebuilding every feature on newer technology that allows it to load faster. We've got a bit more of a focus on the mobile experience, just to help with the tutors on the go. A bit more of a modern UI. So we're really, really excited to release that hopefully in the coming months. And then just more from the connection side of things, we're hoping maybe as the world kind of slowly opens up that some more in-person conferences and trade shows may happen. It's been something we've really missed over the pandemic, being able to have that in-person connection, which is why we're so excited about things like the LTF2, the Love Tutoring Festival, being online and allowing us to connect with everyone. If anyone is interested in TutorBird at all, our fabulous support team is always available. So we find we do get our connection that way. Give us a call, send us an email. We're happy to hear your feedback. We're happy to help, walk through a problem that can be solved by the platform. But we really just want to, keep connecting with the tutor, keep doing what we can do to support the growth of tutors throughout, and see as a lot of tutors continue tutoring online, if there's more we can help with in that area as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is a big step, obviously, for that, because this may be the first time that the tutors that are our audience for the LTF may have heard of TutorBird. It may not be. I'm sure many of them are on the platform as well, which is a really good moment to dive in, to be part of it, because you've got that combination of people who have obviously definitely heard of it, who use it, who love it, and introducing new people to it. And if you are in that second category of not having heard of TutorBird before, then of course you can go to tutorbird.com today, as soon as you've finished this, and make an account. There are plenty of very, very good pricing options there. And of course, as Erin has been saying, they take care of everything. And if you're not ready to jump in just yet, you can find out much more about TutorBird at the discovery sessions, which will be happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. GMT, so 4 p.m. UK time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the festival. You will be able to drop in, to book in, and have a chat with one of the TutorBird team. I'm sure, Erin, but if not, Erin,
I will be there. Come on by, ask any questions. I think I'll be giving a bit of a demo just to show kind of TutorBird in action, so you can see a bit how some of the features work together, and exactly how you can kind of get rolling and get things started.
Awesome. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the festival from 4 till 6 p.m. UK time. Erin, thank you so much for coming on, for dropping in on today, Thursday, the 30th of December. It's a big day happening tomorrow, obviously. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and we are so excited about the festival.
Thank you for having me. Again, we are so excited as well. Really looking forward to connecting with tutors from all around the world at those discovery sessions. In the meantime, if anyone does have questions, is interested in having a poke around TutorBird, you can sign up for a free trial at tutorbird.com. We do have group demos. We do have our support team, whether you've been a member for 5 years, or you're in a trial, or you don't even have a trial and you're just interested in exploring. Reach out to us, support@tutorbird.com. We really pride ourselves on having a great support team who is always happy to help. So we hope to hear from some of you.
There we go. That's your next step. Okay, well, have a wonderful end to the year, everyone, listeners today. And we're very much looking forward to the start of the new year, to 2022. We'll do it all over again. So thank you very much, listeners. See you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Qualified Tutor Podcast. Whether you're a regular listener of this podcast or you've just stumbled across it, join the Qualified Tutor Podcast group within the Qualified Tutor community to stay up to date with our latest news, offers, workshops, and of course, simply to meet other tutors like you. Whatever your level as a tutor, our training courses will be the next step in your professional development. Visit qualifiedtutor.org/training to find out more about our CPD accredited and Ofqual recognised courses, the first of their kind in the tutoring industry. Your student deserves the best tutor possible. Make that happen today by joining Qualified Tutor.